Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are live. My name is Nick Lakani, and today we have a Groove Leaders Unite session for you on courses and communities. And I've got Karen in the background helping me as PD. Hi, Karen. And I just want to have a shout out to everybody in the community who's watching this. Put in a hashtag live, put in a hashtag replay if you're watching this a little later on. And one of the things that I want you to do is to engage today because I want your questions and I want your comments so that we can actually go and give you the kind of content, the kind of ideas, the kind of path forward that you're looking for. Okay, so just make a note of that. Just as you are, just put in your questions, and yeah, put in hashtag live if you're with us right now. Now, what we're going to do is today we've got quite an interesting topic, so I'm going to just go ahead and share my screen. Um, we got recording with impact and clarity. So this is the actual act of recording your online courses. And one of the important things is to be organized and so on. So look, let's get into this. We're going to talk about this further down on the next few slides. However, let's go back to what we are doing and why we're doing it. One of the things that I would say is that creating online courses, there's a huge uh, industry out there. In 2021, the industry was turning over something in the region of $210 billion US. That's after the pandemic. Can you imagine what it was like beforehand? Now, it's estimated, according to these figures, that by 2030, which is only 6 and a bit years away, it's going to have jumped to nearly 850 billion US dollars. That's a big cake. And what I want to do is to help you and to encourage you to go get a teeny weeny little slice of it. Would that be good for you? What would you do with it? Why would you want to go and create an online course? Well, the different people have got different ideas. They may have hospital bills or medical bills for friends or family. They may want to put their kids through education, through universities, and they may want to actually change their lifestyle and have da, 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 financial freedom. All right. So those of you, I want you to write down what is it you're looking for. I mean, what is it you're looking for that something, an income stream like having online courses or building community may help with? What are you looking for? What's your end goal? Is it to sell the business? Okay, so that's one of the things that we're going to cover in this series as well. It's about an exit strategy. Is it to be able to work on a beach in Thailand or Malaysia, and for 2 hours a day, and spend the rest of the day chilling and playing volleyball on the beach? Yeah, I'd love that actually. That's what I want to do. So financial freedom. That's what I'm in it for, and I want to encourage you. And let's go together. Yeah, let's go together. Now, in terms of today's topic is really about recording techniques, and the first thing I want to talk about very briefly is lights, camera, and action. uh, Last week we actually had lights, camera, and action, and I had Karen over here, and we discussed the idea that what's on your background. Is it a plain background? Is it a room? Now you notice today I've actually changed my studio, quote unquote. I've got my study back for the first time in 3.5 years, but hey, I'm not counting, right? One of the important things about this is that I have a place where I've got a consistent setup. All right. And also, I've got my kit set up in front of me. I've got the green screen behind me, and we're going to go and be able to do different things. Also, notice that a couple of weeks, probably 2 weeks ago, I talked about audio and I actually had the external microphone. Well, I've actually got a better headset now because for streaming, this I found is better for recording better quality audio. Okay. So you've got to, as you go along, you've got to try things out and see what works. And yes, lights, camera, action is very important. Your surroundings and also how you look on screen. Okay. So that's the, I do want you to go back to that episode if you need to refresh yourself. But this is very important. But the consistency and the ability to just try one or two things out, that's important as well. All right. Now, in terms of the next item, I think is very, very important: scripting and storyboarding. Let me just stop sharing over here. I want to talk to you a little bit better, more about this. So, scripting and storyboarding. Now, we're all different people. We work in different ways. I get that. You've got to work out a way that you can create the videos of your online courses. And one of the ways that you can do it is by storyboarding, meaning using something like Microsoft PowerPoint or Google Slides to just do slides and just do little odd pictures and shapes and just do a walkthrough. What's going to happen? Start from the left and you finish on the right. Okay. Now, do you see how I did that? In terms of making sure that, for example, if you're visual, it's easy for you to follow all the way across the screen. Some people, like to read a lot, and that's fine. Okay, so then put it in on paper, but write it down. Don't leave it all in your head. The reason is that when you've actually go and put this down on paper, and including the scripting as well, by the way, the scripting would be, some people like to write everything out in their own way of speaking, and literally it's like an essay or a paper. But then you're not going to sit there and read it, are you? Well, hopefully not. You want to come over as being natural. Look into the camera. Look at eye contact with the camera. So today, I don't have anything here at the moment to help me deliver what I'm doing, apart from the slides are my little bullet points. Yeah. So that helps me. But one of the things about the scripting and storyboarding is that if you can get it down on paper and then you have a chance to reflect on it, move things around a little bit, what makes sense? You're the expert, remember? So put it down on paper, what makes sense. Now, remember, it's not just about what's in your mind and you're going to go and deliver. You have to put it in a format or in a way that's going to be easily understandable for your audience. That would be a good idea, I think. But make sure the audience can follow you. uh, don't lose them. For example, some of the wording that you can use. I mean, unless it's a specific technical or professional audience, of doctors or lawyers or engineers, I would actually keep the language very simple. Normally I would go for, an average 12-year-old child being able to understand what you're saying. Somebody else I spoke to the other day said, we want to make it so that a smart 6-year-old can understand you. That's a good mark as well. But imagine that person, and then are they going to understand what you are delivering? And the storyboarding, the scripting, or creating bullet points and having a walkthrough will help you visualize and also hear yourself in somebody else's shoes, your audience. Remember that you may have 10, 20, 30, 40 years of experience in your field. You're talking to people who may have 40 days or 40 minutes. Okay? So that's very, very important to actually be aware of. And that's why the scripting and storyboarding is key here. So let's have a look at the next slide that we've got. Breathe and relax. If you get too intense, I do sometimes. I get very intense sometimes. And what I find is that if I'm not relaxed, if I don't breathe, calm down, work out a way in which I'm calm and having fun, perhaps, and being, lighthearted, then sometimes on camera I can be very intense, and I'm motivated, or I'm passionate, and I want to get out. And well, that's great, because I want to show my passion, but not at the cost of maybe coming across too strong, too passionate. Sometimes some people may think of it as being passionate, others may think of it as being aggressive. So I have to remember to breathe, relax, smile, look as though I'm having fun. And I'm having fun right now, by the way, folks. I love this. I'm having fun right now. And your body language, your tone of voice, your hand gestures, everything about everything that people can see is going to give off a vibe. And think about the vibe that you want them to take away. Think about the place or the environment you want to place, your audience in, so that they can do their best work. It may be that there are times when you need to go up a few levels and to be raising your voice. There are times when you want to edge in closer and lower your voice, bring people in, talk about a sensitive subject or something that is difficult for people to speak about. Whatever you do, be yourself, be authentic, and make sure that you always have the person at the other end, your audience, in the front of your mind. And out. Why? I don't know about you. I feel better after that. So just take a breath. Breathe in and out. Okay. Enough of that. Let's get on. Now, the next item is a consistent process. Now, I said this at the beginning, didn't I? That I'm in a situation here now where I've got my study back, and I'm so happy. And what that does is that enables me to make my process even more consistent. Because there are times when I'm actually in different parts of the house and I was recording, and then we've got people coming around. So I have to pick everything up off the dining room table. I have to put everything up out of the spare room because we have guests. There's all sorts of things going on. And I feel so happy that I'm in a settled position. I've got computers and screens and PCs and laptops in front of me. I've got my light, camera. I've got various different things that I've got here, and nobody is going to touch it or get me to move it unless I want to do it. Okay? So that consistent space, but also the process. The best times for me to come on live and to record and so on is in the morning. Usually, let's say between 8 a.m. and lunchtime, midday, 1 p.m., 2 p.m. That for me is the ideal time. I'm the freshest that I'm going to be. I'm happy, having fun. I jumped out of bed and just, got that energy. Nothing has really hit me to make me think about something else at the moment. What is your time? What is your time of day that you think, right, no distractions, nothing going on, nobody's digging up the road outside with pneumatic drills, that kind of thing. So what is your time that you can devote to this? It could be at 6 a.m. on a Sunday morning because everybody else in the house is asleep. It could be on a Saturday night. It could be Monday morning, 8 a.m. We're all different. Think about your schedule, think about your time, and whatever recording you're going to do or prep for recording you're going to do, make sure you schedule it in a time when you're relaxed and you've got no obstructions, no obstacles in the way. All right. Now, this is interesting because what happens is that a lot of you may have been online since the pandemic, and since the pandemic, a lot of people have been online, and we used to one camera in front of us, either on a laptop or as a webcam, and some people may end up having a light and so on, and and that's it. That's your angle. And one of the things about going to Port Dickson in Malaysia last month was that we're actually meeting our community in Groove Asia, and we met them, and it's not just head and shoulders. They actually have other body parts as well, which is great. And you can see that you can see the back of their head, and uh, so different angles give you different perspectives. It makes things interesting. And that's what this slide is about. It's about having multiple takes. It's about having, for example, if I just take this away, it's about having different cameras. So, for example, I could be recording from a phone over this side, or I could put my webcam on this little caddy and move it over here. And now there are a couple of reasons for that. It could be that I'm recording directly into these angles, or it could be that I'm actually doing this where I'm actually speaking or pretending to speak at this webcam, but actually the webcam is over here. So that way you get a different angle. Now, there's a reason for that. When you actually go and record your course, not everything is going to be up front. You may want to stand up. You may want to do different things. You want to change the angle, as I said, and not all the time are you going to be speaking something that is being recorded to actually go and put into the course, because you could be taking what we call B-roll. So these are clips of video clips whereby you've got different angles or you've got different things that you're doing, and they could be inserted into your the actual final edit, the final video. And next week, by the way, we're going to talk about more advanced editing techniques and so on. But this is one of the things that I want you to think about is that, and you've seen this on other people's videos, right? Where imagine I'm speaking to you right now and we'd cut away to a camera over this side or way back at the corner of the room. It obviously depends on what type of place you have as a studio and the kind of technology you have. But at worst case scenario, use your existing webcam to go and put it at a different angle and just record a few shots. See how you feel. See how it comes out. Now, if some people say to me, "Oh, I only have the laptop," okay, well, whatever quality the laptop is, that's fine. I would suggest that you get a better camera as soon as you can. But even then, you could actually take the laptop, put it over at an angle like this, and be talking to the wall. All right, but they're not going to see that. They're going to see you talking as if you're on camera. Okay. So think about that, leveraging multiple takes and multiple takes. By the way, one of the things that I use for editing is, I mentioned this before, a software called Descript, and I was recording something last night where I wanted to be natural and I wanted to be, I prepared the talking points that I was going to record, but I did it 4 or 5 times, and after each of the sentences, I took a breath and then so that way, if you've got multiple takes of the same sentences, oh, the third one was good, and so we're going to use that take there. So these are different takes, and you'll know when you deliver it that, hey, yeah, that I didn't feel good about that. Okay, let's do it again. Now, don't try and do great big 5, 7, 10-minute monologues and say, oh, okay, let me try it all again. There are times when you're going to have to just edit things out and then edit the actual lines in. So be prepared to take pauses so that it helps you with your editing. Also, make sure that your hand gestures, your eye contact, your moving around the screen and everything is not too erratic. It's more consistent. The reason for that is that you may have one sentence where you're up here talking about, talking on the top right, top left-hand corner here, and then suddenly you cut to over here. So, and that jump would, just looks a bit odd. So when you decide that this is the way I'm going to speak, this is the way I'm going to go and deliver, and people are going to be able to see my hands, but not anything below here. Okay, then I know what I have to work with, and I'm consistent in the way I'm delivering throughout all of the takes, so that they don't appear to be anything drastically different when we take lines out and put other lines in. Okay. Now, let's do a recap. And while I do the recap, I've got Karen who's going to join me. Karen, what did you think about? Which of these stand out for you? Do you think lights, camera, action, scripting, storyboarding, breathe, relax, consistent process, and leveraging multiple angles? What
All of it does pretty all of it
all of
is pretty important. It's just that when you're the whole scripting and storyboarding part is helps you, keeps you on track. Hello, everyone, for who are joining us today. But the scripting and storyboarding, at least having that in your head, have it in your head, but having actually something visual really works for me. And not having everything written down, I like having the outline of things. It just kind of prompts your memory of what you're going to say or what you want to cover, or having an outline of the points that you want to cover, in your presentation. So that's really good
well,
with that, so you don't forget.
yeah, well, not only do you not forget, but the really important thing about scripting is, and what we're saying to people is that you are an expert in your field, whatever you've done for throughout your life.
Hmm.
Therefore, you're not making stuff up, are you? So it is in there, and so allow yourself to get your authentic self and your own skills, knowledge, and experience out. You're not making stuff up. This is not a movie that you got lines,
Right,
yeah,
right.
and you may.
But the worst part,
Sorry, go ahead.
no, just saying the worst part is when you finish and you're ending your broadcast, and then you go back to reflect on what you were saying. You're like, oh, I meant to say that. Oh,
Yeah,
this is a point I need to bring. So it's
and,
good to have
and
those
that happens all the
outlines.
time. It's okay, because what
Hmm.
happens is that the more you do it, the more
Right,
experience you have. You'll just start including. You'll start remembering those things. You're not going to be perfect to start off with. So, for example, look, let's talk about this in general. Um, One of the reasons why we said, didn't we, in the last few weeks, is just start recording yourself, because every
yes,
time you record yourself, if your aim is to be just 1% better, then
right.
that way you'll have continuous development and improvement. And that's the same
Hmm.
for recording, isn't it, Karen? Where we do these streams, and I forgot to say that. Okay, no problem, but you can include it next time. Nobody died.
Exactly,
Uh,
exactly. You're like, oh, I forgot to put the overlay on. Oh, I forgot to press this button. Up, I didn't do that. But yeah, next time,
and also,
and you can
yeah,
improve it.
I mean, the thing with the overlays and so on, I mean, that's the interesting thing, because if you're doing a live stream, okay, it's gone, it's out the door, it's gone and been delivered out on the internet live. However, if you're recording an online video, the video itself, in post production, you can actually add in the
That's
banners
right.
and any other information you want on the screen. For example, you may set up something and say, "Hey, if you're really interested in looking at the best cameras around for your video shooting, um, take a look at this link over here." And then people go da, and then obviously what's happened is at the editing stage, they put in a
Hmm.
little link that people can click on to go to a particular playlist or a particular video.
Right. Which makes it really, really good. And now with a lot of the AI technology now, you can pop stuff in um, that you forget during your broadcast or doing your when you're doing it, recording it. That's why the script is so awesome.
Yeah,
You forgot to say something or want to say something different, hey, just type it in and put it in there. So that's really great. Breathing and relaxing, when you was talking about being passionate, you can get really excited. It used to be with me, and a friend of mine told me, she's like, when you get really excited, your eyes start to water. And I was like, really? She's like, yes, you just start crying pretty much when you get really excited, and your voice starts going really fast because you're excited and you don't want to and you don't realize it, but you're trying to get the information out. So step back, breathe, like you say, take a deep breath and just let it flow. And there was another one. We'll put your slides back on there for just a second because there was another one I wanted to touch on, your B-roll. B-roll is so important, I think,
Yeah,
when you're in the post production, having that extra in the end because when you're talking to someone and you're talking to them for 30 minutes or an hour and you're just straight in the camera looking at them like that, it can get kind of creepy for the person receiving it on the other end. So it's good to have some
well, you mean
cutaways
like this?
with the
Just
b-roll.
like this,
Right.
staring it. No,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, that yeah, very intense.
Right. Like do it, do it, do it. But yeah, so having some cutaways and having that extra B-roll really helps with that, and it helps with, to me, it helps with the attention of the receiver because it's like a break. You're
Yeah,
taking a
yeah.
mental break.
It really helps with transitions as well, doesn't it?
Yes.
So
Yes.
that way, rather than having a jump cut, where suddenly imagine I'm talking about something over here, and then the next line is going to be I'm going to be doing something else. Uh, it may just be
Right.
that it's easier to just put something like that in, either a slide or a piece of clip of B-roll, to actually break up the video.
Hmm. Right. So that
So,
definitely helps. Definitely helps. Those are really good points to help with your recording. Definitely. And I'm really excited about what you'll be talking about next week when we go into more advanced techniques.
oh yeah, yeah. So the editing is quite interesting because one of the things that I'll be talking to people about is the idea that we're recording video and recording audio at the same time, but you don't have to deliver those two things at the same time. Now, sometimes when we're recording, there's a bit of lag, isn't there? Especially on live stream, sometimes there's a bit of lag. And somebody told me the other day they were watching a live stream of mine, and my hands were doing this, and I wasn't speaking. I was doing this but not speaking because something went awry. It was out of sync. And
Hmm.
also, for example, you may want to put a piece of B-roll in while you're carrying on speaking and
Hmm.
making your point on your online video or for your online course. So it's okay. So there are a number of different things that you can do to actually make your editing better,
Hmm.
and the end result, towards what you envisage the person to see. But yeah, we'll talk about that next week.
All right.
Now,
Well,
in terms
awesome
of today,
points.
yeah, so thanks very much for your input, Karen, on that. Appreciate it. Now, what we're going to do is let's go through and say, right, what's the call to action? Well, obviously, we're on live every Wednesday, and today's a little bit later, but hey, things happen sometimes. Um, if you want a private consultation to do with Groove or courses, communities, or anything Groove related, I'm doing some Groove AI streams as well right now. So there's a link there that you can sign up through our system, through Groovasia. And also with the events coming up, well, instead of showing you that, let's take you through and show you what's on coming up over the next few days. So you can see on here that this is the events calendar, and Karen's going to put the link into the chat for you. It's groovasia.cm/events. And on here, you can see that we've got the overcoming trauma event. If you click on it, you can see the sign up link on here, and this is totally a unpaid event, a free event, and this is isummitmastery.com/resilience. Okay, so check that out. That's going to be a very powerful, very very interesting event. and you can read more about it on the link there and sign up for it. Also, on Saturday, Peter's got his course. Now, I'm attending this. One of the things about this is that he's going to teach us how to do the e-commerce drop shipping and being able to set up our own store over the 2 days that he's going to be teaching us. And I'm so excited. I've got a couple of ideas and so on, but Peter's going to take us through from start to finish. You don't necessarily have to have the experience of Groove. You just have to have an idea and to be willing to have an open mind and get ready to open your store. I think that's fantastic. So, Karen, is there anything else I need to mention on here before we go? Thank you so much for being here today. Make sure you put in make sure you like, subscribe, put in your comments, give me your experiences of shooting videos, of B-roll, things that went right, things that maybe didn't go right. Let's have some fun with this. The most important thing is I want you to start messy, start recording, and even if nobody sees it, just start live streaming. Just go live. Okay. So now we're going to look at next week. We're going to talk about advanced editing techniques. So with that said, thank you very much, Karen. Amazing again. And I will see you all next week. Karen, let's hit it. See you next week.
Hi, this is Simon Liang with GrooveAsia.cm. Are you already a part of the #1 community in the world? If not, do so right now for free training and support, along with live sessions to help you succeed. Start now by joining us in our private Facebook group and get more exclusive video content on our YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe with notifications turned on for all updates. Join our community right now. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you on the inside at GrooveAsia.cm.